I'm Alex from Tasmania, Australia. I want you all to repeat after me. G'day. G'day. Thank you. So I've been helping people learn how to use Earth observation data for about 8 years, starting with teaching. That slide didn't last 15 seconds. Anyway, a long time ago in a country far away, accessing Earth observation data was really hard. It was stored on magnetic tapes, literally in the basement, and it used to cost $1,000 for a quarter of a scene. People would flip through paper sheets and say, I want that one, and then they'd send off a check to USGS of $1,000. These days we use thousands of scenes and it costs us nothing. So after we digitized all that data onto spinning disks, a whole bunch of folks invented analysis-ready data. On the left, you can see level 1 data, which has been geometrically corrected, and on the right is level 2 data, which has been radiometrically corrected. That stuff's better. And we also created, in Geoscience Australia, we created the Open Data Cube, which is a piece of infrastructure that helps people work with that data. So it's like a Python library that does a bunch of things. The first thing that it does is creates, maintains a catalogue in a Postgres database of all of these Landsat scenes. The second thing it does is provides an API, like a Python API, to query that index to return an Xarray dataset. It's been doing this for quite a long time, so it was kind of like the hipster of working with Earth observation data. And why Xarray? Well, Xarray is a really useful abstraction. You know, the history of computing is a history of building better abstraction layers, more abstraction layers. And Xarray abstracts NumPy, which is hard to use. Xarray is easy to use. It's delicious, tasty, nice, and fun. And the Open Data Cube makes simply the best Xarrays. They've got geospatial attributes. They've got things like telling you what the no data value is. And there's a whole bunch of Data Cube extensions that help you work with the Xarrays. But the Data Cube needs a Postgres connection, which is really tedious. I've got to let you into my walled gardens and give you some read credentials to my Postgres database, which is mine, and I like it very much. There are many like it, that this one is mine. So it would be great, and good news, everybody, you don't need to use a Postgres anymore, because this one's longer than 15 seconds. Some really nice, clever folks invented something called the SpatioTemporal Asset Catalog. If you don't know what that was, you should have gone to Matt's talk earlier today. But there's a catalog, which is like the Open Data Cube database. There's a collection, which is like the Open Data Cube product. And there are items, which is like the Open Data Cube's datasets. The Open Data Cube was first, remember? So STAC API is a REST API. So we can see Matt resting here, satisfied that he created or helped create a great thing. A REST API is like the most simplest API. I tried to use SOAP API. I never got one of those to work. I don't know if anybody else did. But really, it's just a bunch of URLs. And you've got one here. You've got the collection called Landsat, and it gives you metadata about that. You can add /items, and you get a whole bunch of items. You can remove the rest of it and put search and a question mark and add a bunch of query parameters, and it returns information. There's some nice folks around, like Pete Godomsky and others. I think it was Pete that did this. PyStack client, which is a Python library that will hit this API and return items. There's another cool library that we pitched, and it got funded, and we facilitated creating. Kirill Kuzabov wrote it, and that library is called ODC STAC. ODC stands for Open Data Cube, remember? So ODC STAC, if you didn't read it there, it gets PyStack items, a list of those, and turns them into an Xarray dataset. And remember, they are delicious. We want those. And so this is a really easy way to get really good, well-constructed Xarrays, which we want. One day on a platform formerly known as that we won't name, I wrote a thing and it said, with 2 Python libraries, 6 lines of code, and about 15 seconds you can load satellite data from anywhere in the world. That got about 400,000 views, which is geospatially viral, I think, so I've gone viral. And just to sort of put that all in context, Digital Earth Australia started in 2010, and you couldn't get, well, Landsat data was on those tapes, right? In 2025 now, Landsat data, Sentinel-2 data, all of these other data sets are there with a REST API index, and accessing Earth observation data is easy. So the conclusion here is that the Open Data Cube is dead. Long live ODC STAC. And if you want to learn more, if that sounds useful, there's a workshop running tomorrow. Come along and find out a bit more. Thank you very much.